Okay, we were in the previous class we were discussing about constant gain circles. While designing amplifier, micro amplifier, impedance matching network, input impedance matching network and output impedance matching network, they are very important. Okay, without impedance matching network like this, input matching network and output matching network, we may not be able to get the required value of gain. Okay, for example, if you use simply the amplifier like this without the impedance matching network at the input side and output side, the maximum gain what we can get from this network is a S21 magnitude square, X21 magnitude square. That is a gain of the active device only. Okay, but if you want additional gain, as we were discussing in the previous classes, so it is a gain is here only limited to the gain of this amplifier, that is a G naught actually. G naught that based on the S21 parameter of the active network active device here. So the maximum gain what we can get only without impedance matching network here and here is S21 magnitude square. Okay, but if you want additional gain, then we need to connect the impedance matching network at the input and output. As we were discussing, 2 dB, 15 dB, if you want a 15 dB, this 1 dB gain must be from the matching network and sorry, 2 dB from here and 1 dB from here. We got that in the previous class. 2 dB we got from here, 1 dB we got from here, and 12 dB from the transistor, totally 15 dB. Okay, so additional gain we were obtaining from here and here. For that, what we have to do, we should set a input impedance here, ZS, and output this load impedance ZL must be other than this 50 ohms. So here this is a Z0 is a 50 ohm here. Similarly, here is a maybe 50 ohm here. But if you use only 50 ohm system, you may not get additional gain. So for that, what we have to do, you should change the input impedance and the output impedance. So what we did by using impedance matching network, we changed that input impedance looking towards the source. Similarly, looking towards the load, the input impedance changed here. Okay, here based on the gain required here, we adjusted the input impedance. Similarly, we did this. Okay, so that was what we were discussing, how to do that. Okay, how to get a 2 dB gain from here. We have to choose a proper value of input impedance looking in this direction. To get a here 1 dB, we are looking like this, and we set a ZL, proper value of ZL. Okay, so as we discussed also in the previous class, to get a 2 dB gain, there are values of ZS. They lie over a circle, constant gain circle. To you can get a gain of 2 dB for many values of ZS. Okay, those all values lie on a circle that is called as constant gain circle. And also similarly for output also constant output gain circle are there. You can take any one value over that. Okay, that we were discussing, so how to choose a value of ZS to get a particular value of gain here and here. Okay, so that we were discussing. So to get a gain, additional gain, we should do the input matching and we had here ZS. See here ZS and here ZL. It is other than this is not 50 ohm ZS, and that ZS is a any one value over the Smith chart. See like this. It may be the circle. See, it is a circle here. The circle, gain circles. These are the gain circles what we plotted in the previous class. This is input gain circle and this is the output gain circle we drawn. This is a 2 dB gain circle and this is a 1 dB gain circle what we have drawn. And for this input circle ZS, we were chosen any value, one value over the circle. Over this circle, we chosen one value. See like this. Okay, that is a, or we can take any value, but this is convenient for doing the impedance matching network. So simply we were taken this value. That value is set here. That is on the Smith chart only. What we are taken, it is understood, but it is on a particular circle here. Okay. Similarly, we did for this output circle also. So impedance circle, this is a impedance circle what we have taken, and one value it is somewhere within this Smith chart. Okay, some here it may be your upper part. We got this variant here is the upper part. Okay, similarly for this also we had a here only up in the upper part of this Smith chart. Okay, so now the question is, uh, uh, can we take this value? See, I told in the previous class constant gain circle. We can take any value over this as a input impedance here. To set a input impedance, you can take. But can we take any value over this? That is a question now. See, can we take any value over this? Or only a particular value? See, like this, I have taken this. Can we take anywhere here? So, I told to get a 2 dB, we can take any value over this. Okay, but there is a problem. We cannot take any value over this. Okay, before taking the impedance over this circle, this is a constant gain circle 2 dB. But before taking a value over this, okay, see like this, you should see one more parameter. One more parameter we have to check. Okay, so what is that we have to see now. We cannot take any value over this, or we cannot take a impedance anywhere over this. See, some for example, this circle may be anywhere. As we know, this circle may be anywhere based on our required gain. This circle based on the required gain, this circle may be anywhere within the Smith chart. Okay, and again we have to see, can we take any value over this circle? That we have to see here. We cannot take any value. We have to choose a particular value over this circle. Okay, so then which value we have to take? How to decide how to take that value? If you do not take that, if you do not consider, what happens? Okay, that we will see. So as we know, this is a gain circle. This is a until now in the up to previous class I was telling, you can take to get a constant kind of 2 dB. We can take any value over the circle, but any value we cannot take. We have to choose a particular value. Okay, so how to choose? Why we cannot take any value over the circle? That we will see now. Okay, that is called as a stability consideration. Okay, stability. Before choosing this, see, before choosing the value of impedance, okay, any value over this circle to get a gain of 2 dB, you should see stability of the circuit. What happens to the stability of the amplifier if you choose impedance any value over this? Either you can choose here or here, but we cannot take any value over the circle. Again, we have to choose a particular value. Okay, otherwise what happens? That stability comes here. What happens to the stability of the amplifier? Okay, if you take, instead of taking here, if you take somewhere here or here, what happens to the stability of the amplifier? Okay, so in the constant gain circle, we got a impedance zs. That zs we have to set. Okay, so I have taken, this is a zs here, this is a zs here. But can we take that value or not? That value of zs, can we take it or not? Okay, that again we have to consider one more parameter, that is called as stability. We have to check a stability. Okay, so now before going to that stability, we will see what is meant by stability. Okay, okay, so before choosing this value, you see this zs or zl, zs or zl, you can choose any one value over this. Similarly, zl we can choose any one value over this. But before choosing that value, you should check stability of the amplifier. Okay, can we take these values or not? Okay, that check we have to make here. So then what is that stability? How to check that stability? Okay, that we will see. So here, see the stability in active network. Stability in active network. See, stability means is nothing but, see here is a definition. In any amplifier design, one of the very important considerations in the stability of the circuit under different source or load condition. Okay, it is very important parameter, stability of, you have to check the stability of the amplifier before choosing the value of source impedance and the load condition. That means input before choosing this value ZS and similarly ZL, you should consider the stability. Okay, so the definition of stability is it is defined to be in general the ability of an amplifier to maintain effectiveness in its nominal operating characteristic in spite of large changes in the environment such as physical temperature, signal frequency, source or load conditions. See here, source and or load conditions, source impedance and the loading. The source and load conditions means source impedance and the load impedance. Okay, so this is the one. Is it able to maintain its effectiveness, nominal, see, ability of an amplifier to maintain effectiveness in its nominal operating characteristics. Maintain effectiveness in its nominal operating characteristics. Operating characteristic. Is it able to maintain effectively its operating characteristic? Okay, in spite of changes in source and load conditions, and also including temperature and signal frequency. Actually, we are not speaking about this temperature and signal frequency in your syllabus. We are speaking only about a source impedance and the load impedance. Okay, is it able to maintain its effective, its nominal characteristics, see, operating characteristic effectively? Okay, for a load impedance and the source impedance. Okay, even there is a change in the load impedance and the source impedance, is it able to maintain its operating characteristic effectively? Okay, that is the one here. See, operating characteristics means here gain of the amplifier. Okay, gain of the amplifier. For example, as we know in the previous classes, hello, is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay. So, as we know, operating characteristic means, for example, amplifier design. We are designing the amplifier for 15 dB gain. dB, 50, gain of the amplifier is equal to 15 dB. It is the operating characteristic of the amplifier. 15 dB gain is the operating characteristic of the amplifier. And what we are required is that value 15 dB must be maintained by the amplifier. Okay, must be maintained. That should be remain same while operating. While it is working condition, that 15 dB must retain. Okay, it should not change. Okay, that is how we effectively it will maintain that value while it is operating. That is called effectiveness. See, while operating, if it changes, see, for example, we are setting that to 15 dB gain. Okay, that 15 dB we want it. Okay, but while operating, for example, if temperature rises, okay, then the gain may change. So it is not effective in maintaining. If the temperature increases, because while operating, room condition may change, or while operating because of some other reasons, temperature may rise. That may, if temperature rises, then if a gain changes while operating, for example, instead of 15 dB, it may come down or it may increase above that value. So that means it is not maintaining its operating characteristic, that is gain constant. Okay, it is not effective in maintaining that. That is a meaning here. Okay, similarly frequency also, sometimes if the frequency changes, very small deviation in frequency may change the gain value. It may not retain that value as a 15 dB. Okay, it may change to some other value, so it is not effective. But what we, and also if you use a load, ZS is equal to something. Okay, 15 dB we set, we designed ZS is equal to ZL equal to something. As we know, to get a 15 dB, what we did, G naught, that is 12 dB we are getting from the input matching network, we got a 2 dB. Output matching network is giving 1 dB, totally 15 dB we are getting. For that, we were chosen ZS is equal to something, ZL is equal to something. Okay, now you see, while operating, will it maintain that value 15 dB with that ZS and ZL? Okay, that we have to check. If it is doesn't maintain that, that means it is not at all working. Okay, it is not it is not a good amplifier, it is not stable in maintaining that. So so when it will happen, okay, so for example we set a zs is equal to something and zl is equal to something to get a gain is equal to 15 dB, but while operating, the gain may change, it may not maintain it is equal to 15 dB. Okay, gain may go on increase and it may become saturated. Okay, gain of the amplifier may go on increase or go on decrease. Okay, so so before setting the values of zs zl, okay, actually we are not speaking about that temperature and signal frequency variation, assuming they are fixed, temperature and frequency fixed. For example, load zl and zs, input impedance of impedance matching network, input matching network and output matching network, we have taken zs and zl some values. Now you see, using that zs and zl, what we are expecting, that gain must remain 15 dB only. Okay, but sometimes what happens, you see, so zs, as we know, zs we have taken here this any value we have taken like this, any one value we have taken here. Okay, but if instead of taking here somewhere, if you take here, okay, for example, instead of taking this, if you take here, sometimes what happens, say this uh, reflection coefficient here. See, we know reflection coefficient tau in, and tau s. Here is a tau s. This is a tau n. Tau in, input reflection coefficient looking towards the active device, tau in. This equation, you know, tau in, this we derived in the signal flow graph. Signal flow graph. What is the expression for signal flow graph? This is a, from the signal flow graph, we got this expression for tau in. We derived this. Okay. Similarly, tau out. This is a reflection coefficient at the looking towards the transistor. Okay. So now you see here, this tau in, what we are having, tau in, reflection coefficient, it depends on tau L. It depends on tau L. You see here, tau L. That means ZL. Tau L looking in this direction. Whatever input you set, we are setting this tau L. Okay, is correct. By choosing proper value of ZL, see like this, for example, we are taking one value over the circle like this. Okay, and we are setting that ZL. ZL means we are setting. That means tau L we are setting. So this tau in depends on this tau L. Depends on tau L. What value of ZL we are choosing here, that decides the tau in, input reflection coefficient. Similarly, this tau s, you see here, tau out, what we have here, tau out depends on input impedance what we are setting here. See this tau out, it depends on ZS what we are setting here. Okay, because tau out depends upon tau s. Similarly, tau in depends on ZL. So tau in depends on ZL, tau out depends on ZS what we are setting, input impedance of a matching network. Now you see this tau in and tau out, they depend on ZL and ZS. Now tau in, see some, for some values of tau, for example, if you take randomly this tau, that means ZL. Okay, then what may happen? See, this tau in may become greater than 1. Tau in may become greater than 1. Greater than 1 means, see, all of you know, reflection coefficient. Reflection coefficient varies from 0 to 1. See, tau in. What is tau in? Zin minus Z0 divided by Zin plus Z0. What is Zin? Looking into this, there are two, we can, this tau in is equal to this. This is nothing but this Zin looking in this direction, whatever Zin minus Z0 divided by Zn plus Z0. Zin means looking in this direction, whatever the impedance is there. That is the Zin. And this again, this equation is equal to this. Okay. So it depends upon the input impedance here. Okay. See, tau in, as we know, tau in is varies from 0 to 1. Is correct? Tau in is 0 to 1. All of you saw in the previous semester itself. Maximum value of tau is 1 plus or minus 1. Minimum value is 0. Okay. Reflection coefficient is 0. What is the meaning of that? Tau in equal to 0. Tau in equal to 0. What's the meaning of that? Zin equal to Z naught. Zin equal to Z naught. Z naught minus Z naught, that means 0. So tau n equal to 0. That means matched here. Okay. But you see, that means matched condition. And minimum value, it never become greater than that. See here. When this term will become greater than that, tau in, if Zin is negative, see here, if Zin is negative, okay, if Zin is negative, then what happens? Tau in becomes greater than 1. Okay, the value of tau in is between, it is greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 1. That is a required condition. Tau in or tau out, you see here, tau in or tau out must be less than 1. Okay, that means what? Reflection coefficient means what? It is a input outgoing wave divided by incoming wave. That way also we can define it. Is correct? Hello? Hello? Is it audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, there are three ways. You can define like this. Tau in we can define like this. You can define like this. And also, what is the one more definition? Reflection coefficient at any point here. It is a reflected wave at this point divided by incident wave here. Is correct? Incident wave, outgoing wave divided by incoming wave. Okay, outgoing wave is a divided by incoming wave. See, all of you know, outgoing wave here is lesser than the incoming wave, incident wave. Is correct. VR divided by VI. Reflected wave divided by incident wave. VR is reflected wave is lesser than the incident wave. Is correct. Tau in. Reflected wave divided by incident wave. Reflected wave is always lesser than the incident wave. That we saw in the previous class. Okay, so VR is lesser than VI, then automatic, what is the maximum value of reflected we can get here? That is equal to incident, is correct? That what we got. So in that condition, we had tau in is maximum value is 1. Okay, minimum value is 0. Okay, but here what happens in this amplifier case, you see here, outgoing wave, this tau in may become greater than 1. Tau in may become greater than 1. Greater than 1 means, see, outgoing wave here is greater than the incident wave. Outgoing wave here is greater than the incident wave. VR is greater than VI. So when do we get that VR is outgoing wave is greater than that? That is, see here, S12, S12. That means a part of the signal may enter from output side to input side. See, a signal may enter like this. That may come here. So we are inputting a signal here. That may enter. That is because of a reflection from here. S12. Okay. So that S12 gets S12 times get added with the reflection, and that may increase the increase the reflected wave. Okay, so here outgoing wave is greater because a part of the reflected wave from here enters through this, and it is a bidirectional. For example, S12 is not equal to 0. It will allow the signal to go like this. It is not a unidirectional, it is a bidirectional. S12 is not equal to 0. In such a case, what happens? See, for example, if reflection takes place like this, that reflected wave enters through this, and S12 is not equal to 0. So automatically that is coming out here along with the reflected wave because of incidence here. Okay, wave incident here, a part reflect. Along with this reflected due to this incident, the signal get ordered is because of reflection from here. That is S1 2 times reflection from here gets ordered with here. So total reflected wave increases here. It may become greater than 1. Okay. So automatically if more the reflection here, then what happens if S12 is not equal to 0, more power entered from here output side to input side. A signal from here come to here because S12 is not equal to 0. So signal can move from here to here 2 to 1. Okay, if because it is an amplifier, there is a gain is there, more output power is there. If a mismatch is there, automatically a part of the power will come like this and it may come out here. Okay, because of that addition of this signal, okay, the power, total power here increases here, total reflected outgoing wave increases. So the total VR is greater than Vi. So automatically 2in become greater than 1. Okay. 2in become greater than 1. See, if 2in become greater than 1, see, it may repeat like that. It is go on increases, again it will go and it will may reflect back. So 2in go on increases. Sometimes what happens, okay, so there is a oscillation. This instead of behaving like amplifier, this network behaves like a oscillator. If that is the case, okay, 2in, if once a 2in becomes greater than 1, okay, if 2in becomes greater than 1, then what happens, the system start oscillating. Always 2in should be 2in or 2 out should be less than 1 or equal to 1. Okay, boundary is 1. 2in and 2 out must be lesser than or equal to 1. They should not be greater than 1. But sometime what happens? Sometime what happens? See, this 2in may become greater than 1. Similarly, this 2 out become greater than 1. Then what happens? The system start oscillate. It doesn't maintain its gain, whatever you set at that particular value. Okay, it may change the gain value. Gain go on increase. Okay, or it may come down. Like that will happen. Okay, so it is not able to maintain its characteristic, that is operating characteristic is gain. Okay, we set the gain is equal to 15 dB. Okay, but sometimes what happens if you are not chosen ZL, see 2in depends upon ZL, 2in depends on ZL. Okay, if you are not chosen this ZL properly, then what happens, this 2in may become greater than 1. Okay, similarly this 2 out also, if you do not choose this impedance ZS properly, then this 2 out may become greater than 1. Okay, then what happens, the system start oscillating. Whatever the required gain gina, whatever you set GT may not retain at that value, like a 15 dB, it may increase behind that, it may come down. Okay, that will happen. It may start up behaving like a oscillator. Okay, once the value of 2in greater than 1, 2 out greater than 1. So what we have to do, we should choose the value of 2i to ZL and ZS properly. We cannot take any value of ZS. If you take any value, see, even 2 dB we will get. See, for example, we will be getting 2 dB. If you choose any value ZS, you will be getting 2 dB. But that may not retain at a value 2 dB while operating. Okay, it may start oscillating. See, the 2in may become greater than 1 for a particular value of ZL. Okay, this ZIN may become greater than 1 if ZL for some values of ZL. Okay, this 2in may become greater than 1. So this amplifier doesn't maintain its gain constant. Similarly, ZS, if you take some value of ZS, this 2 out may become greater than 1. Then also this amplifier cannot maintain its characteristic impedance. That gain constant. Okay, so while choosing this ZL, see ZL, any value we cannot take. If you take any value, that may lead to IN greater than 1. Okay, similarly, ZS also, it may lead to out greater than 1. Okay, in such a cases, the amplifier start oscillating. That's why here you see here ZS, we cannot take any value over this again. Similarly, we cannot take ZL any value over this. You should see which are the values gives a 2IN lesser than 1. Again, 2IN must be less. You choose a value of ZL such that those values of ZL must give the 2IN less than 1. Okay, see like this. You take a values of ZL over the circle, but what we are expecting, those values must give this tau in must be less than 1. That way we have to choose. That's why we cannot take any value over this. We have to take a particular value. So I have taken some value like this. Okay, we have to take a particular value, then only it will become a less than 1. Similarly, ZS also, we cannot take any value over this. Okay, if you take any value, this to out, because to out depends upon the ZS here, this may become greater than 1. If to out or to in become greater than 1, the system start oscillating. Okay, that is called instability. It may not be in stable state. Okay, it not be maintain its gain stable. Okay, the gain may change. Okay, so if you want the gain to be stable at the whatever you required value, then you should choose a particular value of impedance over the any value over this Smith chart. It must be a particular value over the Smith chart or over the circle. Any value you cannot choose. Similarly, any value you cannot choose. Okay, you should choose a particular value over the circle. That's not here. What the difference? Okay, you can draw this GS, but any value you cannot take to get a 2 dB. You should take a particular value. ZS. Similarly, ZL particular value you have to take. Okay. So, no, if you take that way, what way we have to choose ZL? Any value you can take, but that value must give a 2IN. You should take a ZL on this circle that we got. Okay. But again, that ZL, whatever you take, should not give a ZIN greater than 1. ZIN must be less than 1. Okay. So, that also we have to check here. Similarly, ZS also. ZS, we cannot take any value. We have to choose a particular value. And that value must give a Z out lesser than 1. That way we have to choose. Okay. Um, so we cannot check it. You cannot take any values over the circles. But you should get a value of ZS or ZL. They must give a 2IN and 2 out lesser than 1. Okay, then only we can use that as a 1. Otherwise, the amplifier start oscillating. If you choose some value, if 2IN becomes greater than 1, automatically the nominal gain may not retain. Similarly, here also the thing. So here, whatever you are choosing ZS and ZL, you must be careful. You have to check that condition also. Okay, that is called as a stability consideration. Stability. That's why, because why it is called stability consideration. How much it is stable in maintaining its gain. For example, there are other characteristics also, but we are, for example, considering gain. How much it is capable of retaining its gain. Okay, in the set value, that is whatever you say desire. Okay, so no, okay, that is a one here. So now, then what value we have to choose here? Then what value we have to choose over circle? Which, if you choose which value, then 2IN is lesser than 1. That we have to see. Is correct. 2IN must be lesser than 1 for whatever the value you choose on ZL. For that value, this 2IN must be lesser than 1. Then how to check it? Is correct. what value you have to choose? That is the question. Next question is, then okay, what value you have to choose over this as a ZS? Similarly, what value you have to choose over this as a ZL to get a to in and to out lesser than 1. Okay, so here actually that is a very easy method here. Okay, to check it, it is not a very tough thing. See here, in this there are two type of from you can easily test it. You can easily do that test. Which value you supposed to take for a ZS and ZL? We can easily do that using the S parameters of the active device. Given active device. See here, this is an active device. Given active device. Okay, so active device using the S parameters of this active device, you can easily come to know what values of ZL we can choose, what values of ZS we can choose to design the impedance matching, input matching network and output matching network. Because to design the input matching network, you should choose one value ZS, similarly one value ZL on these circles, but what value you have to choose? Okay, that is a question. To decide that, it is as I said, it is not very tough. You can easily get that from the S matrix of the S parameters of the transistor here. Okay, so this is a actually there are two type of stability check we have two type of considering a passive source or a load impedance. Passive source and load impedance, we are using only here passive source, passive, assuming load and source and load are passive here. Okay, assuming passive source or load impedances, two type of stabilities are defined. Okay, what are those two type of stabilities? Unconditional stability. See, unconditional stability. A network is said to be unconditionally stable in any frequency range if and only if uh, tau in is less than 1 and tau out is less than 1 for all values of this ZS and ZL. Tau L means ZS and ZL. See, some amplifiers are there. Some amplifiers are there. Amplifier, you can take any value as a ZS, any value as a ZL. For that amplifier means a transistor again. We are using active device as a transistor. You take some transistors, okay, some transistor. The transistor is characterized by its S matrix. Transistor is characterized by its S matrix, okay. For some transistors are there or some active device is there. For that active device, see, you can take any value of ZS, any value of ZL. Okay, the value of 2in and 2 out are always less than 1. Okay, the amplifier is like that, the active device is like that. Okay, the active device is like that. If you can take any value of ZS or any value of ZL, it may be, see, any value you can take over this or any value, because the circle may be anywhere in the Smith chart. Okay, circles may be anywhere while designing the amplifier based on the gain and device. For some active devices, see, you will observe you can take any value of ZS or any value of ZL on the Smith chart. See, like this, it may be over this circle or over this circle or any value over this impedance chart. Always this 2in and 2 out remains lesser than 1. Always you can take any value that is based on the device. Okay, some active device is there. For that active device, you can take any value over this as a ZS or a ZL. The 2in and 2 out remains always lesser than. Okay, that is a property of that device. If it is a case, if you take any value, if 2in and 2 out is lesser than 1, okay, then it is called unconditionally stable. Unconditionally stable. That amplifier is unconditionally stable. You can take any value for this ZS, whatever you want on this circle. Whatever you want on this circle, you can take. Whatever you want on this circle, you can take it as a ZL. the 2 in and 2 out never exceeds a 1. That is a property of the device because of its parameters. That may happen. Okay, that active device has a S parameters such that you can take any value here, but the 2 in 2 out never exceeds a 1. Okay, so if that is the case, it is called as unconditionally stable. That amplifier is unconditionally stable. So you can choose any value over the circle, no problem then. If it is stable, if you take any value over this, if a 2 and 4 are always lesser than 1, then no problem for us. We can take any value over this circle or any value over the circle as a ZL and ZS. Our value of 2 and 2 never reaches a greater than 1. That is called as unconditional stability. For some active devices, it may happen. Okay, so then another is conditional stability. Conditional stability. This is the one problem here. Here, the 2 in and 2 out are lesser than 1 only if you choose particular values of impedances within this impedance chart. See, this is the impedance chart. If you take some values of over this impedance chart, the 2 in and 2 out are lesser than 1. Okay, for example, if you take a values over this upper part if you take for that particular transistor, 2 in and 2 out are lesser than 1. Okay, so we can test it. Which part, for example, if you take a values retaining here, if you take 2 in and 2 out are lesser than 1. So what we can observe from here, see our two circles are here, this circle and this circle, both are in the upper part. Both are in the upper part. And we tested for this particular amplifier. What we observed, you can take any value over this Smith chart upper part. The values of 2n and 2l are lesser than 1. So you can choose any value over the circle or any value over the circle. You can get always 2n is lesser than 1. Okay, so that is only if you choose the impedance in the upper part, 2 in and 2 out are lesser than 1. Okay, okay, that is called conditional stability. But if you for example, I am saying this is example. If you take a values below here, for example, values here, this may become greater than 1. 2 in and 2 out may become greater than 1. So we cannot take a values here, so retaining here as a impedance for ZS and ZL, because those values gives a 2 in 2 out greater than 1. You cannot choose a values here. Okay, because they may set to 2 in 2 out greater than 1. Okay, okay, that's for example. But if you take any value here, it may lesser than 1. So you can choose any value over here. See, like that. That is called condition. It is a condition. If you take only over this, but not these values, that is a condition. Okay. So that is called as conditional stability. Okay, there are two types. One is unconditional. Unconditional stability means for that amplifier you can choose any value over this Smith chart. All those values gives a 2 and 2 out lesser than 1. So you can choose any value, no problem. That always the amplifier always retains the stability. But to some devices, active devices are there. For example, okay, if you choose the values above here, then 2 and 2 out are lesser than 1. But if you take a values below the Smith chart here, the 2 and 2 may become greater than 1. So what we can come to know, we cannot take a values here for the design. We have to take only the values retaining here. Okay, that is called conditional stability. The condition is there, we cannot take these values, or just I am saying above and below, but it may be some part of this, because some for example a part of this if you take, that may give a 2 and 2 out lesser than 1. Okay, if you take behind that, those values may give a greater than 1. So you cannot take a part of this Smith chart values as a ZN, ZS and ZL. Okay, only over a part of this you can take. So that is called as conditional stability. Only a part of the values over a part of this, for example, like this over this part. If the values written over, for example, like this, if you take those values gives a 2 and 2 out lesser than 1. Okay, then what we have to do is choose only over this part. You cannot take over here for designing the amplifier like that. That is called as conditional stability. Okay, so for some transistor it will happen. We cannot take all the any value over this. You should take a value wherever there is a stability is there. Okay, so that is called as conditional stability. Okay, unconditional stability and conditional stability. So now here how to check it? See, as I said here, the unconditional stability. If you take any value over this, that means the transistor doesn't become unstable. It will always be stable. Any value you can choose. Okay, that is a property of that device. That transistor is there. Its S parameters are given. Okay. For those S parameters, we will come to know. You can choose any value over this. Okay, that may not as I choosing. See, we have to choose a ZS and ZL. That's a problem coming in here. What value you have to choose? Okay. Mm? For in the beginning itself, you can check. Okay. See, for the given transistor, you can check. It may any value over this. If you take, it will never oscillates. That means always 2 in and 2 out are lesser than 1. Okay, see how to check it. Is it a conditional stability or unconditional stable? Unconditionally stable means you can take any value over this Smith chart, no problem. It will the 2 and 2 never become greater than 1. You can choose any value over this as a stable one. So stable, and again we cannot take again for 2 dB. You should take only the values over this. First you find out the stable region here. If it is entire is a stable, then over entire is a stable, but again entire you cannot take. Only you should take a circle like this, and again on this circle you can take any value because the entire is a stable. Okay, because entire is a stable region. This circle is within this Smith chart. Entire is stable means the values retaining over this circle also stable. So you can take any value over this circle as a ZS. Any value over this circle as a ZS, because all those values gives a 2 in lesser than 1. So first you should check is all values are stable. That means unconditional stability. If it is unconditional stability, you can take any value over this, like any value over the circle, because the circle is within the Smith chart. If entire values are giving a stable operation, any value over this circle also give a stable operation. Okay, for a 2 dB we want this circle values only, but any value over the circle you can choose. Okay, if it is entire is a stable region. So how to come to know it is unconditionally stable? That means how to come to know all values are stable. Okay, for that we can check easily CLS. That is called an analytical solution of stability. Analytical solution of stability. Hello, 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 Aditya. Aditya is there? Hello, Karthik.
Yes, ma'am.
Then one doll there. Sushin.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, girls are there. Bindu.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All of you there. See, many of you are absent. That's why here I'm asking.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All of you must present. See, I think some of your friends are not watching video also and not attending the classes. See, automatically it will become very tough. Actually, the concept is very easy, but you should listen to the class. Uh, Many of you are not watching and also not joining the classes also. Even joining, not listening. Hmm? It is very tough if you do like this. Okay. Girls are there. Jamuna, Tania. Tanya is there? Tanmayi? Chinmayi? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, so here, okay, analytical, how to check it? Whether all the values gives us 2 in, 2 out lesser than 1, or only a part of this are gives us stable. That is conditional and unconditional. Unconditional means any value you can take that always 2 in is 2 out is lesser than 1. Okay, how to test that? For the given S parameters of a transistor. Okay, so that is here analytical solution of stability. Analytical solution of stability. Using S matrix of the given active device, you can come to know whether all the values are stable, giving stable operation or not. That is 2 in lesser than 1, 2 out lesser than 1. That see, here is a check you have to do this. It is not very big thing. See, you should calculate these two parameters. Should calculate these parameters. Delta, this is the expression for delta. K is this is the expression for K. And the B, this is a B1 expression for B1. You these values depends upon the S parameters of the device. See, this is the S parameter of the device. K is based on S parameters. You see, S11 delta here, and this is a 1. Okay, you calculate all these values, delta, K and B1. Okay, delta, K and B1. Based on this delta K, you can come to know all the values gives the stable operation or only few values. See this. Okay, so here, okay, we will see in the next class. Okay, this is the way you have to calculate the value of delta K and B1 using these parameter values, delta value, K value and B value. You can say whether it is a conditionally stable, that amplifier is conditionally stable or unconditionally stable. Unconditionally stable means all you can take any value over this Smith chart. Okay, any impedance value, always 2in is 2 out lesser than 1. So in such a case, if that is a case, okay, based on the value of k, delta and K, we can come to K must be greater than 1, delta must be some less than 1. Then automatically we will be seeing any value you take over this, then 2in is 2 out is lesser than 1. That means unconditionally stable. So you can take any value over the circle as a gain setter, gain, 2 dB gain, any value over this you can take. Need not to specify only for this value. Okay, because any value you take, the amplifier is stable. That you can come to know by using this delta and K values. Okay, okay, in the next class we will see what value of delta and K must be the amplifier to be unconditionally stable. When do we say, for what value of delta and K we say that amplifier is unconditionally stable. Unconditionally stable means 2 in 2 out are lesser than 1. For any value of impedance you take any value ZS or ZL and put them here in this ZL and ZS. Any value you take over this is the impedance chart. If you take any value and put here and calculate, it is manual, it is not able to do. A computer using a computing one, you can do this. Computer, you can check it. Okay, 2in is always lesser than any value you take ZL and ZS. For all those values, 2in and 2 out are lesser than 1. Okay, but that again easy way is by checking this delta and K. If these two values are lesser than some value, you always it becomes a unconditionally stable. Okay, in the next class we will see what value we have to consider for delta and K to give a unconditional stability. Okay, okay, in the next class we will see.